Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology, my YouTube channel. I am Miss Charlotte and I'm a full-time working astrologer. If you are new here, please like and subscribe and click the bell if you enjoy this video. On this YouTube channel, I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities. And today I'm looking at Ms. Britney Spears and her now ex-husband, Sam Asgari. This has been a long time coming. For so long, my Instagram followers, which, by the way, if you're not on my Instagram, please do follow me. I'm very active on there. I talk to everyone on there. A lot of my Instagram followers have told me to have a look at their Synastry charts, and I have made a few posts on it, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to just fully flush out the chart and have a look at what their relationship's like. What's their communication style? Why did they last for so long? They were in a relationship for what, like 7 years, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. It's a really, really long time. Okay, so let's just get into it. I do not have a birth time for Sam Asgari, so we're going to do the best we can, but we do have his placements, his planetary placements. We do have a birth time for Ms. Britney Spears, and that renders her chart as a Libra rising with a midheaven in Cancer. Very, very good girl next door kind of energy. However, we might even delve into why she's perceived as crazy, because she does have a bit of a crazy chart. You can't really blame her for being crazy for everything that she's been through, and maybe we can have a look at that as well. All right, let's just get into it. So why is Sam and Britney, why were they together for so long? So let's magnify this. Do you see how Britney Spears' 6th house of the everyday has no Pisces? Her 6th house cusp, and 6th house cusp is the Virgo house. It's everyday, the routine, the paying the bills, cooking breakfast, that kind of mundane stuff. Exercise. That's in Pisces, which could indicate that she lacks, like if she was left to her own devices, she probably wouldn't really have a routine, and it can indicate a very addictive nature and addictive personality. Sam has stellium in Pisces, including Saturn, so the word I can use is restriction, but he also helps her with those everyday things. He's very much a manager, even though he's a Pisces, which is someone who very often lack boundaries, and I have no doubt in my mind that he does in other areas. When he's with her, he fills out that sixth house in her chart. He manages the bills, or he wakes up at 6 o'clock and he gets her to exercise. He prepares her food. And wasn't he originally one of her staff? Wasn't that how they were able to carry on a relationship, is that he was put on the roster? He was an employee as much as he was her boyfriend. So with his son in the 6th house, that is where he shines. He helps her manage her day. And with Saturn there in the same sign, that's probably an indicator of how he can be disciplined. People with Saturn in a conjunction with their sun, they are often quite serious, quite disciplined, quite traditional. They take on the qualities of a Capricorn in a way. So, and that's very much him. He's someone that wanted to settle down and get married. I believe he's from a pretty traditional background, from what I understand. And he has also experienced a lot of loss. Isn't his family are refugees, immigrants? Pisces see a lot in their lives. They have very difficult lives, and they're also big dreamers. And the reason why is because Pisces is associated with the 12th house. It is the last sign of the zodiac. It is the place where you are before you were born, and it is the place where you go when you die. It is not quite death, but it's not quite alive. You know what I mean? It's the very early stages of springtime when it's still kind of winter. So that's the energy of a Pisces. His Venus is in Pisces too, and even though that is exalted, it's considered the best placement for Pisces. You got to remember, Venus has no boundaries. Venus has no boundaries here. And it is very much possible to be in love with someone that you're using. And that's the feeling I get with this. However, you know what? Their Venuses do line up. Britney Spears has no water in her chart other than her midheaven in Cancer, which is that girl next door. which explains why the whole world is so offended when she acts crazy on her Instagram. She's an Aquarius moon. The ruler of her midheaven is an Aquarius, which is an inconjunct. It's like really awkward that she is so bizarre, but that's who she really is. And when she doesn't take on the characteristics or perform the way we want her to as this girl next door, as this sweet virginal creature, then she's insane. She's crazy. Her Venus is in Capricorn, so that tells me that she has a lot of lessons in love. It takes her a long time to learn how to love. It's almost like for her, love is utility. You know, the motto for Capricorn is I use, right? What good are you to me if you can't make my life better? And I have a and that's not me insulting her or anything. I have a Venus in Taurus. Like, literally, love is not just a feeling. Love is not just off with the fairies and, oh, you made me feel something. Like, love is an everyday act. Love is time that is spent. Love is arriving on time and picking up the kids and making dinner. It is those mundane things. Can we work together as a couple? Can we be a team? That is a Venus in Capricorn. That's what she needs. And her Venus, I believe it's pretty, I think it's exact. The degrees, I think it's 24 degrees. Double check me on that. But her Venus, her value system, her love language, what she finds attractive is very well aligned to his Venus in Pisces. That is a sextile. That's a sextile. And a sextile, when you have two placements that are sextiling or trined, that is an alignment of energies. They have an alignment of values. She needs someone that can help her with the everyday. And he's here in her 6th house, helping her exercise, making her dinner, making her breakfast, being of use to her, being a dedicated servant in that Virgo 6th house. And Virgo in 6th house is the sign and the house of servitude, where he fits in perfectly. He's an employee. And yeah, the Venuses line up. So I'm not surprised they had this deep connection, why they were together for so long. He very much was of use to her, and vice versa. I mean, he's got a lot of Aquarius here as well. He's motivated by advancement. He's motivated by he wants to innovate, he wants to change. He's quite ruthless in that respect. His Mars is a very, very ruthless Mars. As soft and fluffy as he seems, he does seem that way because he's a Pisces. Pisces is really good at being fluffy. They're really good at being gentle, and I have no doubt in my mind that there's a lot of gentleness, like genuine like gentleness about him, but he's also a bit of he's an iron fist in a velvet glove. The velvet glove is soft. The iron fist, that's that Aquarius. The iron fist is Aquarius. The velvet glove is Pisces. Ruthless. Gentle, but ruthless. Britney has her moon in Aquarius. I mentioned that earlier, which is very awkward because that is her midheaven ruler. Cancer is the midheaven ruler, and Aquarius is in a quincunx or an inconjunct. They don't really align. They're not even opposites. They don't even have anything in common that opposite signs would have. So when she is on her Instagram dancing around the way she is half naked, people are like, oh my goodness, she's betrayed me because she's not acting like the sweet girl next door. See? Horrible. She should be in that conservatorship. Blech. Like, that I've heard people say that online. I've seen people online say that she should be back in a conservatorship. She's just an oddball. Aquarius moons need to be free, to be themselves. And Aquarius moons, they very often have very difficult childhoods. They have a disconnection from the mother. They have a disconnection from their family. They're incredibly sensitive people. In order to protect themselves, they disconnect and they seem quite cold. Don't worry, Aquarius moons. I see where you are. I see you. I'm a Libra moon. We trine up. So I understand. That disconnection. Incredibly sensitive. They feel everything. That's why they very often choose to feel nothing, and they are cold. And they're loopy. They're just loopy people. What is good about their connection is her moon, it's not in a conjunction. It's kind of just, the orb is quite big, but they're together. Her moon and his Mercury are in the same sign along with his Mars. The Mars is also not in a conjunction, but let's just use it. A Moon-Mars synastry in a conjunction anyway, if you want to call it that. Their sex and emotion come together. So can I say that word? Can I just say, I have to say schmex, right? I'm on YouTube. Anyway, his Mars, which is the phallus, which is the masculine energy, that is in the same sign as her moon. So there is a schmexual emotional connection. When he makes love to her, she feels very emotionally connected to him. The Mars is a masculine planet, right? The phallus, when he makes love to her, he feels like he can control her. So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Mars is the most masculine part about you. So when it feels dominance, it likes to feel dominance over a feminine, soft planet like the moon. So it's actually a really good placement for a heterosexual couple. In friendships, in platonic relationships, work colleagues, things like that, a Moon-Mars conjunction is not as great, but in a heterosexual relationship, it's actually quite good. Moon in the same sign as Mercury. He knows how to talk to her. He knows how to appeal to her emotions. He's the Mercury is the mind and intellectual nature. When that is in the same sign as the moon, that person knows how to talk to that person's soul. So he's a bit of a therapist. And she's just spilling out all of her feelings to him, and he's absorbing it and responding in kind. So this is actually really, they have some good synastry, I won't lie. That's probably why they were together for a really, really long time. And then another thing that I saw here, if we move over here, you see how his moon is in Sagittarius. He's always hungry. Let's just get that straight. He's always looking for the next hit. He's hungry. I always say that people with moon in Sagittarius, they do well when they move overseas or they live away from the country that they were born in. Now, I don't know, was he born in America or was he born overseas? Because I know his family are immigrants, right? But that could indicate a family that's overseas, or that he comes from overseas, or he's someone that should be living in a foreign country if he's not already. But he's always hungry. He's always looking for the next hit, the next thrill. That moon is in a conjunction, a pretty tight conjunction actually, with her Mercury and Sun. So another Mercury moon synastry conjunction. Again, he does the same. His moon explodes all over that Mercury. I'm going to tell you my feelings, and she's going to respond in kind and listen. They have great synastry. As much as we don't enjoy Sam Asghari for many reasons, they did have a really strong connection. Her sun is in Sagittarius in a conjunction with the moon. She feels accepted, because the sun is the bright shining part about you. It's your ego expression. This is me, right? So when you meet up with someone that has the same moon sign as your sun sign, you feel like you can be yourself. You can be wacky, you can be crazy, you can be out there, you can fully express your ego. And they, being the moon person, which is an inward energy, they'll take it in and accept you. So she feels worshipped. She feels accepted. And then the moon person, because that's inward, he feels seen. The moon represents the unseen. If you think of the sun as what is seen and what is visible, what is bright, shiny and bright, the moon, because it's the nighttime planet, right? It's not a planet. I know. It's not a planet, but let's just go with it. The moon represents inwardness, emotional nature, the part that he hides from the world. When her sun shines on that, he feels like he can reveal himself. He feels seen. He can be vulnerable. So it's actually really good. However, do you see all these malefics? There's Uranus here. Uranus is chaos. Neptune is also here, which is also a very chaotic planet that governs spirituality and the flood. They're both malefics. Lilith is here. It's no surprise Lilith is on her sun, because she is that destructive feminine is very much part of her persona. These bring chaos to his moon, his inner world, his domestic sphere. And you know what? Maybe that's why he stayed, because the moon in Sagittarius, they really love that chaos. They love an adventure. They love to learn. And having malefics on that moon, he put up with it for a really long time, so he must have enjoyed it. Her Juno is also in a conjunction here. Juno is partnership and marriage, and he embodies that energy as well. Vesta is what she holds sacred. She's a very powerful person. Look at this. She's not just a Sagittarius. She is a stellium. Like, she is multiple planets and asteroids here. 1, 2, 3, 4 planets. 4 planets here. And 3 asteroids. That's 7. That's 7. That's 7 planetary alignments in Sagittarius. Very powerful woman. Very powerful. Destructive. But so powerful that she is destructive in that 3rd house of local. She has a very small world around her. The thing with Libra risings is that their charts are flipped. So where they have Sagittarius, which is the opposite sign to Gemini, lying in the Gemini house. So even though she is this huge superstar, this expansive energy, this Sagittarius energy, she is locked up in this 3rd house. It's a very small team of people that know her. It's quite sad, actually. Look at here. Britney's Jupiter, which is the husband, is married to his Juno, which is the wife. So in the chart, they're married. Makes sense. His North Node is in a conjunction with Pluto in Scorpio. So I don't know where that plays out in his house, in his chart, but he has it lying in Britney's 2nd house of money. So he's going to benefit greatly off of this. You know, it could go left, though. He could end up with nothing. But Scorpio is marriage. Scorpio is legacy. Scorpio is learning to share your resources with someone else. It is in a conjunction with Scorpio's ruler, Pluto. So either this is long-term investment and hopefully a quiet life, or he might just squander all his money. We'll see. I feel like he's good at it. I feel like he's very devious. He's a Pisces with the Sagittarius moon. He's devious. I'm sorry. Not really. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. You Pisces know what you're up to. People always tell me on my Instagram, you're really harsh on Pisces. I'm like, that's because I have to be. I'm an Aries. I'm your sister sign. I know what the hell you're up to. I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb. At least, you know, if I'm the villain, I'm more out there. You know what I'm about. Pisces like, I'm so sweet. I have such a hard life. I'm so soft. And that's why they're so dangerous. That's why they're the serial unalivers. They're serial unalivers. Go have a look at it. There's enough research out there to show you that they're serial unalivers. They're serial a lot of things, actually. All right, let's have a look at this. Britney's Mars is in the 12th house. I'm going to have to do a whole Britney Spears chart reading because she's fascinating. Just her chart on her own is fascinating. But her Mars is in Virgo, which is in the 12th house. So she has a great handle over her body. Like, she is a dancer. Have you seen people with Mars in Virgo? Fantastic dancers. Not all the time, and I'm speaking quite generally, but I've looked at the charts of people that have Mars in Virgo, and a lot of them are gymnasts or dancers, people that have to have a great control over their limbs. It's also one of the dirtiest schmexual signs. It's very submissive. Like, it's like, just put it anywhere. You know what you're about. I'm not like that at all. Bullcrap. Anyway, his Chiron. Oh gosh, I wish I knew where this Chiron was, guys. I wish I knew. But Chiron in Virgo is an insecurity around perfection, physical things. He is a bit of a perfectionist. It is opposing all of his, I know the line isn't showing, but that Chiron is opposing all of his Pisces placements. That's why maybe he's a control freak. He has a wound around those things. That's why he's always working on his body and his beard and his hair. I recently watched a podcast where two gay men said that they thought he was also gay, and I'm wondering that as well. Like, if gay men think he's gay, then you got the gaydar. Or maybe he's just really effeminate. Anyway, my dad's a nurse, so I can't really judge. And my dad's very straight. Am I going to get cancelled for saying all of it? Oh, who cares? My following's not big enough yet. Anyway. I mean this with affection. Yeah, so her Mars is in the same sign as Chiron. They are not in a conjunction, but still her Mars tickles his Chiron. So if his Chiron is in Virgo, he might also have an insecurity about money management. And her Mars is just sticking it in there, prodding it. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you have someone in your life that has a very malefic placement on your Chiron, they're going to irritate the wound. Because Chiron is where you have like this giant scab, a wound, an insecurity, rejection, right? If someone has their Mars or their Sun or a Uranus, a Pluto, you know what I mean? Like a malefic planet sitting on there, they're going to activate that wound. They're going to like make it bleed a bit more. I mean, that doesn't mean it can't be a great relationship, but it will be painful. I'll tell you that. Sometimes you need it, but very often you don't. Anyway, where is Britney going? Her North Node is in Cancer in a conjunction with her part of Fortune. So that might mean she might go back to work. I think she needs to retire, but working is all she knows. And she couldn't have her baby. I think she married him so she could have a baby, and that didn't work out. And she's 40 now, so she's probably let it go. Maybe that's why she gave up on him. But you know what? She's everyone's mother. The mother is mothering. Britney. North Node in Cancer is about... North Node in Cancer, or the North Node in the 4th house, is about creating a safe domestic sphere for yourself. It's about learning how to be comfortable, learning how to feel into your feminine, like being your femininity, your feminine nature, your domestic sphere. Hers is in the 10th house of the public. So I'd like to interpret that as her taking full control of her career, of herself, of her money. And she's got part of Fortune here, which is great. I used to think that this North Node was not well aspected, but it actually is. I mean, it was trining Sam's Pisces placement. See this big blue line? So I think he was instrumental in her getting her freedom, but when she got her freedom, he likely took over control, or tried to, and that's where she had to shake him off as well. So he was instrumental in getting the freedom, but then she had to let him go in order to fully be free on her own. Now, her Mars, her Mars is in Virgo. I know it's not showing, but I do think this is a sextile. Mars is in a sextile with her North Node. You can't see it because it doesn't, but in terms of the numbers, that is a sextile. I've looked it up before. Mars actually sextiles a North Node. So that's a good thing, because it means that by her own efforts, she can eventually be free. As messy as her freedom is going to look, it's not up to us to decide what her freedom looks like. She needs to find that for herself. But Mars in the 12th house is difficult because she's very often, and throughout her life, hopefully not now, is exploited. Mars is your go, 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 right? Mars is that fire, I always say, it's the fire in your belly. It's your independence and what motivates you. And Mars is the thing that can get you freedom. And when it's in the 12th house of secret enemies, who controls you? Even Meghan Markle has this placement. Mars in the 12th house is a difficult one because people are going to see you, people are going to over-sexualize you. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? People are going to over-schmexualize you. People are going to likely exploit you, or they're going to vilify you if you don't do what you want them to do. Look what's happening to Britney. She's crazy. It's all over TMZ. We know what they're doing. I like Britney. I'm really glad she shook off all those hangers on. Hopefully she can get her freedom. She has her freedom now, but she's lonely. So I really pray that, yeah, she can get that. By the way, Sam Asgari doesn't have any placements in Cancer or any placements that are going to help her get to where she needs to be. She's a rocket launching off into space, and she needs to shed some of the, you know, when rockets launch, they drop some of the weight. He helped her launch, and she needs to shake him off. That's who he is. But he has no Cancer placements. She needs some Cancers in her life, or some people that have a bit of Leo, Cancer, Gemini. They're going to help her manage this. Anyway, I'm just having a look around one more time just to... Oh my gosh, my computer is... The battery is so bad. Anyway. I keep trying to plug it in. Anyway, one last thing. What I do see is Neptune and Uranus on her Venus. So he weighs her down into the South Node. He doesn't take her to her North Node. Really, he weighs her down on the South Node with this Neptune and this Uranus. He also likely brought a bit of chaos to her life. He knew how to keep her hanging on, I reckon. I reckon he was really good at that. She was enslaved in that relationship, but she probably didn't think so. When she was in that conservatorship, I reckon that he was someone that was a bit of a savior. I mean, Neptune governs Pisces, which is a lot of his placements are in Pisces. He's got that savior complex. So he came in, got paid, and she probably enjoyed it for a while because he was the savior, little messiah energy. And then when she ended up saving herself, she didn't need him no more. All right, guys, that's about it, I believe. Lilith is in her 7th house, so descendants in Aries. She needs to be with an Aries guy. Kevin Federline was an Aries. Anyway, ew, Kevin Federline. We'll look at him at some point. Here's Lilith, the destructive feminine, in her 7th house. I wonder how difficult it was for her to make friends with that Lilith in there. Being with him probably was very, very restrictive. Anyway. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I keep plugging in. This laptop needs to be replaced. Please like, subscribe, click the bell. If you want to see more videos, they'll pop up. They'll pop as Mercury retrograde, mate. It just ended yesterday and it's still affecting me, this bloody shadow period. Click the bell and then you'll get notified of more videos. So yeah, cheers everyone. Bye.